Team, hello, Coach Evan here. Just wanted to briefly condense some of the information, especially for those of you that weren't able to attend the challenge information night, and get you up to speed with everything so that you can hit the ground running come May 15th when we're kicking everything off. Yesterday, official registration started. And that can be done through the F45 challenge app, which is going to be a big topic of discussion in these slides. So jumping in, we are really excited to be offering this. Really, this is what we believe F45 encompasses as far as holistic approaches to health, fitness, and building just generally good, healthy habits. So what do I mean by that? Well, we're going to be holding you guys accountable to consistency in the studio. We're going to be holding you guys accountable to tracking stuff, which we've heard mixed reviews on. But honestly, if you're doing a fitness program, really, the best way to know if it's working is if you can track it and you can see the progress being made. Whether you want to continue doing that after the challenge is up to you. But during the challenge, we want you guys to be tracking your fitness progress. We will look through what that looks like in just a second here. And then nutrition. So nutrition is extremely important in your fitness journey and just health in general. So we'll be providing meal plans and whatnot, and you'll have the choice of either cooking everything at home or ordering meal kits for yourself through our meal kit partner that we have. And then a whole bunch of teamwork and camaraderie. That's kind of going to be another important pillar of the F45 challenge. So what is the challenge exactly? It's a transformation challenge. You guys have probably heard that term being tossed around a little bit. Essentially, we want to get you guys scanned in on the InBody scan at the beginning, middle, and end. And what we're hoping to see is, progress being made throughout a 45-day journey. And so in that 45 days, we're going to introduce certain in-studio challenges that we're doing. That could be anything from working up to like a 2-minute plank. It's out of studio challenges that we'll do. So if you make meals from the meal plans that we provide you with, post that on social media, tag us, stuff like that, you'll get a point for. And then just general tracking kind of along the way. So a lot of that is going to be facilitated through our individual teams. We're going to be splitting up all of the challenge individuals into 2 separate teams. Coach Samantha and Coach Zach are going to be the head of those teams. So keep it up with you guys, making sure we're hitting our goals, staying accountable to those goals, and walking away with some good progress at the very end. Prizes go out to the highest female and male total body transformation. So that's muscle mass gained plus body fat loss. So the highest range and the highest number that kind of sums up to, those will be the winners for those 2 prizes. The other prizes will be going to consistency members. So members that are consistently monitoring their heart rates, going to classes, for 3, 4, 5 times a week is what we're generally going to be looking for. People that are hitting those challenges, those in and out of studio challenges, and being consistent with that. And then, so that'll be male, female for that as well. And then we're going to have a general, just kind of team player prize as well. So if you're a huge support for your team and your team recognizes that and they vote for you, we want to recognize that as well. And make sure you're being, taken care of for that. We appreciate good team members. So that is a general overview of what our challenge is going to look like. But in general, we want this 45 days to be uncomfortable, push some of your limits so that at the end of it, it's easier to jump into a normal routine that reflects a lot of what we've learned in the challenge. So the challenge app itself is going to be your portal for managing a lot of what's going to be happening during the challenge. And we'll kind of walk through what that looks like here in a bit. Here are some core pillars of what will be happening in the challenge. So we have progressive themed weekly programming. We have prioritize performance progress, skills, and general fitness. We have nutrition guidance that we'll be providing, and then holistic wellness practices and sustainable lifestyle changes that you'll be able to take with you, hopefully after the challenge as well. There are 4 main features that we're going to talk about in the F45 app. These are all resources for you to use. I would definitely highly recommend that you take full advantage of all of these. So learn, track, train, and eat. Let's jump into learn. So go ahead and pause the video and install the F45 Challenge app just so you can walk through this with me. Once you install that, you'll see on the bottom there, you have this learn, track, eat, train, all of those tabs. So we'll go over what that looks like right now. So learn, this is where there's just an abundance of literature to go through. You can learn pretty much anything you want, either through nutrition, the lens of nutrition, or through, what's the difference between cardiovascular classes, strength classes, what's the importance of doing both of those. So just a library of wealth as far as information goes. I would highly recommend to check some of those articles out when you get the chance. Training. So this is kind of just reflects what we do in the studio itself. So one thing that is pretty cool as well, and I know a lot of you guys are traveling. I was just out of town this past weekend, but I took the challenge app with me. You guys all have access to this with or without signing up for the challenge. So something that you could take advantage of whenever needed. But I found a little hotel workout area. They had dumbbells, they had yoga mats, they had just a variety of things, and I was able to build a full F45 workout for myself. If you don't have any weights, you can also do the body weight section of those same workouts. Make sure you guys are still staying up to speed with a lot of those. Keep tracking while you guys are on vacation. So if you're able to, 45 minutes, everybody's got 45 minutes in their day, especially if you don't have to drive. You get that workout in, track, what's going on. Try to track your food. I know it's easy to, and sometimes it's nice too, to break away from the normal nutrition schedule and cheat a little bit. So by all means, but just generally keep in mind, we're staying up to speed with this challenge. We want to get you guys back and we want to get those goals knocked out of the park. So keeping up with that stuff, tracking. On the topic of tracking, so there's the tracking tab. This is where you can track anything from sleep to water intake to a number of exercise minutes, and then last but not least, the actual calorie intake. So there will be some calorie goals depending on what your personal goals are, and we'll go into what some of that looks like here in a second. There we go. Calorie calculator. This is really going to be based on what you want to get out of the challenge. So if you're trying to put on muscle mass, your calorie calculator, you're going to put in your gender, height, age, some other information as well. That's going to give you a kind of baseline calorie intake that you need if you were to perform no additional exercise throughout the day, just what you need to live day to day without losing or gaining weight. From there, We are going to adjust for number of times you're exercising a day, and then if you want a calorie surplus or deficit. So if you're trying to build muscle mass, um, adding 500 calories, most of that being protein calories, that's really going to help with building that muscle mass. If you're trying to lose just weight in general, deficiting about 500 calories is going to get you some pretty serious results. Trying to maintain that protein, though, making sure your muscles still have the ability to repair after workouts is important. Uh, but again, this is really up to what you are trying to get out of this challenge. We're just using this calculator to help us get there. So with that, what we recommend throughout the challenge, this is kind of something that you would do personally. Track things daily. And the reason we do that, especially with weight, if you're jumping on the scale daily, you're going to see a lot of variation depending on how much water we've and how much food we ate the previous day. There's a lot of fluctuation there. So what we want to do is we measure every day and we take weekly averages just to get rid of those statistical kind of fluctuations, if you will. You can even measure circumference of, various limbs and parts of your body if you want to. So you can measure your chest, you can measure your biceps, making sure we're getting big biceps after those upper body curls and whatnot. So those are some fun things to track if you want to. And then we have assessments as well. One assessment that's available is the benchmark. It's going to be looking at some compound movements for your 10 rep maximum. So for instance, I know there's a front rack kettlebell squat. So you'll perform 10 squats at the highest amount of weight that you can, and then record that in your benchmark, and then hopefully see an improvement after a few weeks of training, and then jumping back into those benchmarks and seeing where you're at. Eat. This is the last tab, I believe, on the challenge app. So this is very important. You'll have the option to either cook your meals at home, or if you want to partner with the meal kit that F45 is partnered with, which is actually something that I do. I just like to buy things pre-prepared. It ships to me. I just have to warm it up, and that's my MO. But if you like to cook at home, you will be able to follow a shopping list. We'll get you guys a shopping list. You'll be able to follow our meal plans as well. These meal plans are catered to the number of calories that you need to function day to day. So these weekly calories are for somebody that needs about 1,400 calories a day, depending on what they are trying to accomplish. Say they are trying to put on some muscle mass, we're going to put their caloric intake at just under 2,000, so about 1,900 calories. We're going to motivate them to kind of pick up some of that protein intake. And so you'll see this week layout for challenge 30, week 2. It's going to give you the week layout. If you were to drop these down, it'll give you all of the meals throughout the day that you can follow that are going to hit approximately 1,400 calories. Then it's up to your specific goals to adjust for that. So 1,900 calories, we're pretty much just upping the quantity of all of the ingredients we're putting into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on and so forth. If you're trying to order your meals, you can register through the app as well and just get those meal kits ordered directly to you. That is a lot of what the nutrition will be encompassing. Again, tracking all of this, making sure we're staying accountable to that tracking and to those goals, so we get the most out of this challenge. Challenge requirements. We are asking for 3 challenge requirements. One is sign up for the app or register in the app. And then grab your Lionheart heart rate monitor, excuse me. So that's something that we are requiring for our challenges. It's one of my favorite ways of measuring overall fitness, and seeing how well your heart reacts to certain stimulus. So a few things to look out for is where is your heart rate sitting throughout these workouts? If it's 75 to 85%, means you're working pretty hard. You're not overexerting your body. So recovery the next day isn't, terrible or compromising your ability to get back in the gym more consistently. If your heart rate's sitting above that, if you're, super conditioned, sometimes that's fine. You know your body really well. Or I've seen a few folks with heart rates that just naturally sit up higher than others. And that's totally fine as well. You can kind of just see what your rate of perceived exertion is and make sure you're able to recover quickly after that. But you can also look at how quickly that heart rate drops. So while you're taking that water break, kind of note down where your heart rate started right after that last set of exercise, and then where it ends up right before jumping into that next exercise after that water break. Ideally, you want your heart rate to drop pretty quickly. That means your body's pretty good at getting oxygen back to your body, getting lactic acid broken down, and so on and so forth. Then the third requirement is the in-body scan. So we will be jumping into the first in-body scan on May 12th, 13th, and 14th. So we'll be sending out blocks that you can schedule in for. So that'll be our initial one. We're going to be scanning midway through, just a little progress check-in. And then most importantly, that last scan, really making sure we're getting that kind of overall difference in seeing, who had the biggest total body composition change, which would be pretty cool to see, I think. Awesome. So getting ready, some tips to get ready: get your heart rate monitor, install the F45 challenge app, and go ahead and register for it. It should be pretty simple. You just go to the little challenge section in the F45 challenge app, click register for the May 15th challenge, and then just kind of familiarize yourself with the app in general. Play around with those tabs. This week, I want you guys to go ahead and start using the app just to familiarize with how it functions and how you're going to start using it with your in parallel with your training and eating and whatnot. So record a workout with the Lionheart heart rate monitor, familiarize yourself with the report that it generates and the F45 Life app, just so you know what to look for. Go ahead and track a day of sleeping, water intake, calorie intake, and training minutes. And I think I think third one is where we're going to get you on that in-body scanner. So keep an eye out for the in-body scanner blocks that we'll be sending out in scheduling, so that we can get you on there and ready for the challenge. But that is all from me for now. If you guys do have any other questions, please let me or some of the other coaches know. Like I said, we are very, very excited to jump into this. You could expect teams to be selected Wednesday or Thursday. We'll get that info out to you. We'll be adding you guys to GroupMe. So if you guys can install GroupMe, that would be awesome, so that you can keep the coaches updated with any questions you might have or some of that tracking, and so that we can keep you updated directly with, if we have an end of the week event that we're hosting, and we can tell you kind of what challenges to expect throughout that specific week. Yeah, that is all from me. And I hope that is helpful to you guys. And I am, excited to kick this challenge off. We'll see you guys there.